Senator Johnson joins us now. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Before we get into the big, beautiful bill, I want to get your thoughts on what's happening in Los Angeles. I remember back in 2020, the governor of your state of Wisconsin failed to bring in the National Guard when violence erupted on the streets. How do you think the president is doing to control the riots in L.A.?
Well, I support what the president is doing. This appears to be a tactic of the left. They employed it during the summer of 2020, where you had thousands of supposedly peaceful protests. More than 500 erupted into riots. A couple dozen people were killed, including a couple in Kenosha, Wisconsin. And this is playing out exactly the same way. We had Governor Evers turn down President Trump's offer to bring in National Guards troops, and he let Kenosha burn for a couple days. And as I said, 2 or 3 people died in Kenosha. Finally, he relented and brought in National Guard troops, and magically, the violence ended. You need to show a strong police, law enforcement presence to prevent violence. And what is inciting violence are these elected officials from the left who are trying to encouraging their supporters to go out and resist the lawful activities of federal law enforcement. Federal Customs Border Patrol and ICE agents. It was the left that opened up our borders, creating a clear and present danger to this nation. Now they're trying to do everything they can to prevent President Trump from trying to clean up the enormous mess they created.
No, exactly right, Senator. I remember, obviously, I think that's one of the big lessons President Trump took away from 2020 is he gave Democrats a chance to do the right thing. They failed. Cities burned. He was not going to let it happen again. All right, so I do want to switch to the one big, beautiful bill. I mean, you've been on our show many times in the mornings talking about your issues with it, even saying it needs to be broken up into multiple bills. Can you just give us an update on where things stand right now in the negotiations? Are we getting any closer to getting this thing across the finish line?
Well, first of all, there are a lot of good things in the bill. There's no doubt about it. We provide funding for border security, for defense. There's some very good spending reductions in the bill. The House has done good work as far as it goes. We extend current tax laws. So we take an automatic tax increase off the table. We make sure that we don't default. So those are all really good things we all agree on. The problem is it just doesn't go far enough. I'm putting the finishing touches on a report that demonstrates that graphically. It's kind of hard to describe this numerically. I try doing it on TV shows and people, their eyes glaze over. I get that. But, the basic numbers are CBO's basic projection is for $21.1 trillion of additional deficits over the next 10 years. That's a $2.1 trillion deficit per year. Even the best case scenario that the White House released on June 7th would have that 10-year deficit at $18.6 trillion, so averaging almost $1.9 trillion per year. Now, this compares to President Obama's last 4 years in office, where his average deficits were $550 billion. President Trump's first 3 years, he had to deal with Democrats, so that increased to $810. Our problem is we went on a massive spending spree. Democrats under Biden didn't return to reasonable pre-pandemic levels. They averaged deficits of $1.9 trillion over their 4 years. And this basically codifies that. This does not, the one big beautiful bill does not adequately address it. We don't bend the deficit curve down. Again, based on CBO estimates, those deficits rise pretty dramatically over 10 years. I was just quoting the White House's best case scenario, which includes about $3 trillion of tariff revenue, which is pretty uncertain. The courts may come in and rule against President Trump. So there's nothing certain about $3 trillion in tariff revenue over the next 10 years.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.